Hello and good morning. It's great to have you all here. My name is Katja Schechtner. I'm with the founding convent of IDSA and very lucky to have been partnering with Ars Electronica for the past 2 weeks in the summer school already. And thus, I'll be your host for this morning, where we will mainly hear from our students and what they worked upon in the last 2 weeks. But before that, I, of course, ask Gerfried on this stage to open the festival.
Thank you very much. I will try to make it brief. Thank you, hello, welcome. And
You go.
Please enjoy the festival. I mean, basically, this is everything that I can say. Everything else we developed the last many months, the last many weeks, the last many days, many hours. You will see some things are still under construction and not 100% finished. We have this nice saying in our team, don't worry, the festival anyway goes until Sunday, so why should be everything finished? And this is the spirit of Ars Electronica. Ars Electronica is not a festival where we showcase finished projects, only achievements that are being made. We are bringing people together. The most important thing, and the festival, as you might know, goes on since '79. 44 years of history working in the field of art, technology, and society. And from a rather niche and boutique festival, as you would call it, Ars Electronica developed into a huge platform for many, many activities. There are literally thousands of people presenting during these 5 days their projects, their work, their activities, and I think this is the best environment that we can also provide as a nest, as a first breeding ground for this wonderful new initiative that is in the focus also of the festival of today. A new university is going to start. We don't know where the journey will really bring us, but we know we have wonderful people sitting on the steering wheels. You will also see them and meet them today. And we have not only the official people steering it, we have this whole team of students from all over the world and fellows who support us and who support the university in finding, and not only finding, I think creating a challenging, successful, and powerful path through all the turmoils of our today and of our future. So thank you very much for really each of you for this wonderful engagement, the energy, the ideas and inspiration that you brought already and that I'm sure you will bring and with which you will contribute to the success of this university and also a little bit to the success of our festival. Thank you very much. Thank you, Katja.
Thanks. And after the welcoming words by Ars Electronica, I now gladly invite the president of our founding convent, Claudia von der Linden, on stage for some welcoming words. Claudia.
Thank you, Katja. Thank you, Gerfried. Yeah, dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy also to welcome you today on behalf of the founding committee of IDSA to this fascinating event. And as Gerfried said, we're all very curious, but we're also very excited to see what the outcome will be. Yeah, this is one of the important steps for the content kick-off for the new university, and we will do this together. And I think this is very new and very innovative. And believe me, a lot of work has been done beforehand to start this, and this will be visible now. And I think we also can be very proud what has been achieved already until today. Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the beginning of the creation of an innovative model university here in Linz. Thank you that you're all here today and also for the other days. And as I said before, we are really very excited to have you here from all around the world. Thank you. So, and that you hear now a little bit more about this new university called IDSA. I would now like to hand over to the founding president, Stefanie Lindstaedt, who will present her concept for the new university. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We're here today to witness the birth of a new university. It's the first public university founded in Austria in 57 years, and it is dedicated to digital transformation. So it's a university on digital transformation. So what does that really mean? Let's look at each of those words separately. Let's start with digital. What we mean with this is it's not only the shift from analog to digital. We've had this for quite a long time. It actually stands for AI and data, for apps and automation, for abstraction and computational thinking, for all approaches and tools and ideas which come out of computer science. Basically a toolbox with which to solve pressing problems which could come from the society background, from businesses, from the economy, from students, from everywhere. So this digital has seeped into basically all of our lives, all of our individual lives, into businesses, into societies. And as Bill Gates says, we always overestimate the change certain things bring that will occur in the next 2 years, and underestimate the change which will happen in the next 10 years. So that's exactly what this university is about, understanding the long-term effect of digital, the implications, and also about designing the change. And the change can take different forms. It can be in the form, nature, and function of different things. And this is what we understand of the transformation which we are aiming at. And if we're talking about transformation and we're wanting to teach transformation, this really means that also the university which wants to do this needs to be transformed, needs to be a new kind of university. It needs to be a think tank, it needs to be a design lab for new ideas and approaches. So I have a dream of a university in which students study technology because they want to change society, in which they want to transform the world. That's typically something why people study other disciplines than technology. It should be a university in which young women and men are confident to follow their own ideas and follow them through and really implement them. A university for professors who enjoy teaching while doing research and doing research while teaching. And we will put this doing, this engagement into the center of the attention of this new university. And by doing this, our approach is to intersect all these different disciplines which we will have and drive the convergence of these disciplines forward. Yeah, we will build a university on digital transformation based on 4 main pillars. One is interdisciplinary research, to really do basic research on the intersection of computer science, digital, and any other discipline. This other discipline can be social sciences, philosophy, psychology, mechanical engineering, whatnot, whatever you come up with. So we will try to extract people who are working at this intersection. And we already have a lot of people here who are already working on that intersection. These are our fellows and our students who are already doing this. Secondly, our study programs will not be disciplinary study programs. We will not teach computer science or mechanical engineering. We will teach mission-based study programs, things such as AI and healthcare, or AI and energy economics, or any other thing in which where AI really brings in this transformation of a whole ecosystem. It could be a business ecosystem, it can be a societal ecosystem, anyway, things where you really need systemic thinking. This is one of the important lessons we want to teach our students. And we do this teaching in projects. We want to get away as much as possible from frontal lectures, just as what we are doing here right now, instead of doing much more projects like what you see behind you. All these projects and things which have been happening before we are even coming to this great festival. And finally, we will be the university of the cool technologies. These cool technologies will be for learning, mainly, because in the end, nobody can make somebody learn. Everybody has to learn him or herself. But this can be supported for teaching and for doing research. So this can go from holodecks to the metaverse or any other kind of thing which you can even imagine, learning analytics, recommender systems, anything which goes. And we will be an experimental lab to try this out, to try how these technologies can be used for our projects. Yeah, so we're building this university from scratch, but not in a back room with a few people writing papers, but we do this adventure together with all of you, with the students, with the fellows, with everybody who is interested. And in this point, I want to extend my thanks again to Ars Electronica, to Gerfried, to Veronica, to really make all this happen here, to invite us to the festival, and also to the Gründungskonvent, all in front, of course, Claudia, Katja, and Christoph Lindenger, who've been helping to really set this up. And today we will hear, or now we will hear from two very important stakeholder groups, our students and our fellows. So, and I'm sitting there with my pen and writing down all the ideas and approaches. You will come up and try to understand most of them, and then if I don't, then I will come to you and ask you for clarification. So when will we know that we have succeeded at a university? And there I would like to end with the words of Mary Love. If our students say the following, I will be extremely happy. Count me among the weird, the odd, the unruly. Stare if you must, then kindly step out of the way. I'm here to change the world, and I have a lot to do.
Thank you very much, Stefanie, for sharing your vision with us. Okay, now it's the right slide with me. Before I go and introduce the idea of the Founding Lab, I want to first thank Ars Electronica for many things, but mostly for their incredible attention to detail. Because maybe it's serendipity, maybe it has a little bit to do with them figuring out that I'm very much into mobility and urbanization. What you see here behind us is an installation for the public to join us later in the audience, but you will see that a lot of the spots are taken by car parts. And it's actually in the ratio that cars take our spots in our cities. More than 30% are taken for parking spots, not for people spots. So it's an installation together with Jung from Matt. And maybe it's a coincidence, but it's a lovely coincidence. Thank you for putting us on that stage. Okay, I'm here to introduce the Founding Lab. Now, while this is the start of the Founding Lab Forum, together with the festival, we had an open call for students with more than 338 applications from many countries, and we've selected a lovely batch of 75 that you will all meet today in various functions because it's very much their day today. An open call for fellows. We've had a lovely application. It was super difficult to select those fellows, but I'm very happy to have them here today, and you will get to meet them in a minute or two. So the students, together with many experts, Ars Electronica, friends and staff, have already worked for the past 2 weeks to prepare the program, because we really wanted them to be center stage. So you will hear the keynote today by them. You will see them performing tonight on the big opening stage. If you move through Ars Electronica and visit all the different wonderful exhibitions, you also will find 6 exhibition sites that the students prepared, demonstrators, in the past 2 weeks to showcase their work. We've also had a media team. You might be asked for an interview, who knows, today as well. And this will be collated to press releases and actually shared with the general public after the forum. And last but not least, a group that's very dear to me, the policy group that I was allowed to advise a bit during this week, who will tonight interact with the politicians, the ministers that are coming, and tell them what they demand for a university of the future. Now, today, we start with the Founding Lab Forum, as I said, part of the festival, and after that, we go in the fall lab term. What you see here are our students and the incredible diversity they bring to IDSA already. And these are the topics, the workshops, and the 6 groups that you will see exhibited in the booth, the topics that the students worked with, and it had a wide variety of looking at stuff through a very much STEM lens with signal detection and interactivity, though they did field experiments, I think, in the train station, brain-computer interfaces, and also biotechnology and arts, with talking about an external uterus, the future of how we could create more than just a technical world. But without much further ado, I would like now to introduce the fellows. We have 21 wonderful fellows. Not all of them are here tonight. I will quickly introduce them, and then with the mic, they will share themselves, their vision for the future for the university. And to listen to this, I kind of spontaneously changed the program and therefore asked Stefanie Lindstaedt to join me here to listen to the fellows up here. You said you want to take notes, so I take you seriously. Maybe from the students, Luisa, would you like to join? And do I see someone from Ars Electronica? Chiara, is there somewhere? Chiara? Up on stage, please. Thank you. And from the founding convent, Christopher, in the room? Christopher left, Martin. On the stage, just listening. Nothing bad happens. This is all about diversity. No. She actually told me she has to go to work. No worries. We'll be finished by then. Okay, so we have a lovely group of fellows. I'm very excited to have you all here. Thank you very much. We already shared pizza last night, which makes things a lot easier. First of all, Darsha Hewitt, originally based in Canada, but at the moment she joins us from UDK Berlin. And I'm particularly interested, and I think our students will love to hear about that as well, the media archaeology work she does. And with much further ado, Darsha, what's your visions? And you should have a mic. No? Mic. Whatever. Okay, cool, there it comes. It's not on yet. Is it on?
Hello.
Go.
Hi. Okay, I think what's quite important for the university of the future is to maybe like step outside of tradition a little bit. I actually came up with these next few concepts with a couple of students, Kevin and Dipti. So on one side, we need to continue to be collaborative, critical, especially within academia, of the power structures that exist and the power structures that could be and can be. Conscientiousness, the idea of thinking about your own self, the people around you, the environments, and the living lives around us and our impact on them. And the last one, for another C word, we chose celestial. And what we mean by celestial is like kind of weird. Like keep it a work in progress, keep working on things where we might not necessarily have the end point in view, but take a bit of a dynamic way to get there. So that's my position on it.
Gerhard is our next fellow. He's the senior director at Gartner's Supply Chain Consumer Retail team. He is a native of Upper Austria, but he changed it for the other Australia, so he joins us from Melbourne today. And please, Gerhard.
Yeah, so thanks very much for having me. For me, the University of the Future is really about interdisciplinary and lifelong learning, and really bringing together different parts of society and industry and economy to then challenge real-world challenges or attack real-world challenges. And as we know, we have a lot of them. And I think the most important thing is really to focus on ethical decision-making and really equip students with the compass to navigate the challenges that we have, and foster inclusivity and diversity of thought, specifically when it comes to the lived experiences of marginalized and not or underrepresented communities. So I think that's my thoughts.
Thank you, Gerhard. Thank you, Gerhard. And he doesn't only have a real impressive business background, but I think I'm also allowed to share that he's still a student in psychology. So this is exactly the kind of fellows that we are looking for, having a lot of different backgrounds, ideas, and aspects in their lives. Gerhard and Dasha will be joined by Vladan. Vladan is coming with the train from Serbia a little late. He is a professor in Serbia. He was working very much on the transparency of algorithms. And why I'm very happy that he was able to join us upon one or two calls, I think, from Ars Electronica, who has worked with him before, is his great exhibit in the Ars Electronica Center that you should go and check out if you have the time, that shows what materials and what infrastructures go into a specific node computer on which AI then finally can run. Because these three fellows, they work in the infrastructure chapter, where we look into what makes the material of a digitalization, so that we not forget about all the physical aspects that go in actually building the future of digitalization. Next up is Ariana Salazar-Miranda. She's a colleague from MIT Sensible City Lab. We've been working together for the past few years. She's interested in, I know because I've worked with her a lot on different data sets and what they mean and how they can change cities. And I'm also allowed to share that she's an incoming professor at Yale, because she just finalized her PhD. Congratulations, Ariana. Please share your thoughts.
Hi, everyone. It's very nice to be here. Thank you, Katja, for the wonderful introduction. So for me, the University of the Future is all about a transformative educational model that can integrate hands-on practice, but also community engagement. So talk to local stakeholders, organizations, to tackle the big societal problems, right? So think about climate change, think about segregation, all of these problems that we face in our daily lives. Thank you.
Thanks, Ariana. She will be joined by Roland van Dierendonk. He has, I also know, many hats, not only the Hogeschool Rotterdam, and he's very much interested in responsible AI. Roland, please.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here. Happy to be part of this team. The University of the Future is a lively playground, according to my vision. It's equal parts about play and imagination as it is about criticality and speaking truth to power. So creating, simulating, and testing alternative future paths. Putting ethics first means that data scientists become aware of the socio-political role they have and their position, as well as their influence, while future politicians finally become more knowledgeable about tech, so that innovation can become more responsible.
Thank you, Roland. And Ariana and Roland will be joined by Paolo. Paolo is, well, this long career, and we've all read so much about his work and seen so many of his work, he's really looking into data sets, what it means, who owns them, what impacts they will have on society, and he works as a freelance artist in this space, and he is a Golden Nika winner, so very happy to have you here, Paolo.
Yes, thank you so much. Paolo Cirio, and well, the University of the Future probably should be I think more involved in society probably, so escape a little bit from the bubble of academia and just writing and discussing among only academic people, and so having more influential role in society and definitely in policy making as well, and nevertheless be creative, and so then also be more involved with festivals like Ars Electronica for sure. So I think this is a great new opportunity for us. Thank you so much.
And we've made sure we have a student who has a Golden Nika 1 as well, so, you know, eye level here. So Ariana, Roland, and Paolo will work on our second chapter, which looks very much into the data, the models, and the code that then run on the machines that Gerhard, Dasha, and will introduce. Okay, now that we've heard the first two chapters, any feedbacks on the visions, any ideas that you feel like, I've seen, Stefanie, you've taken a lot of notes. Any short feedback to this?
Well, the expectations are definitely very high. I haven't heard anything which goes contra to my own ideas. I think what we really need to work on, or more, maybe think of more, is this integration of the society. This is more, came up now basically nearly from everybody, and this is something which I haven't thought so much about yet, and so this is a very important input, and we will take this up.
Thank you. I'll ask you guys later. Okay, let's move on to chapter 3. Chapter 3 will then be again on how we physically, how our bodies interact with the robots, the tangibles, like really the interaction between humans and machines. And for this, we have a wonderful team of 3. First of all, Ray LC from the University of Hong Kong, who is very much interested in the narrative of these interactions. He is on his way too. I think this time it's not the train system that kept him from being on time. We're very much looking forward to work with him. Next in his team is the wonderful Edwina Portocarrero. She currently joins us, I thought, from the Bhutan Fab Lab, or from Frog, or from all the manifold works that she does, from the Tsinglan School in China. And Edwina has worked a lot on the interaction between the humans and the machines She got my eye especially because she thought about how to bring these new ideas about technology, about the digital transformation to the playgrounds, to very much early go out, and how we could do pop-up playgrounds with children, especially also from a Global South perspective. Edwina. The mic needs to move one chair.
Thank you. Also very happy, sit on, yes, to be here. Thank you for the intro, Katja. I love it when people talk about me without me having to do it myself. So, University of the Future, well, it's hard to say something new after all of them, and with many of them following. But I think paying attention to the different levels of thought, so not only the ones that happen at conscious level, but also the ones that happen when we least expect it. So different levels of thought, diversity of thought, of course. And just hoping that whatever digital systems we come through with enhance physical connectivity. So that's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, Edwina. And with Edwina, we have Nan Sao. Nan joins us from Tulip Interfaces. It's actually a startup that really tries to bring the benefits of AI to the factory floor and the workers there. This is her latest job, of which she currently takes a small break that's a few months old, called Ada, and he's in the room too. Hi, Ada. Nan has worked a lot on how humans and their surroundings, the infrastructure and the robots interact in responsive environments before. And I also know her she is one of the few female founders that we have out there for startups. So she founded a startup in Boston before joining Tulip, another MIT startup as far as I know. Welcome, Nan.
Thank you so much. Exciting to be here. My vision for the university would be because much of my research in the past really deals with adaptive and responsive environments, so I hope that the university will also be adaptive and listening to the needs of students and really equipping students with the tools to grow their impact in the world and also encourage them to contribute back to the network and society that they built. Thank you.
Thanks, Nan. There now is someone who I probably don't need to introduce, especially not in Linz, especially it's difficult for me, Dietmar. With Dietmar, I did my first exhibit at Ars Electronica 13 years ago, but he was well known here before having co-founded the Future Lab. Now he is at Northeastern University, chairs a visualization department there. And I know also he's been very much interested in how data is represented both in the embodiment, but also like in other representations and transformations, and he will share that with us. Dietmar.
Thank you, Katja. I don't know if I deserve that kind of things that you said about me. But yeah, in terms of the University of Future, I think there is no such thing as the future. There are only multiple possible futures, and so the first thing we need is imagination. And for me, it's less about the topic of AI or data, whatever. It's more about the approach and creating an intensive environment of epistemic pluralism, where like a lot of different perspectives come together. And I think, I have a long list of things that would be important in such a case, but I think like one of the most important things to start with is a certain kind of positionality where we have to realize that the researcher, the designer is always part of the problem for better or for worse, and we have to be aware of that and start from there. Thank you.
Thanks. And as Dietmar will be part of the visualization group where we also probably have sometimes issues with data, I've just seen here that with him is Xiaobao Li, who is absolutely not a senior director at Gartner. But she joins us from the University of Texas. She is a Harvard graduate with distinction, and she's very much interested in how also bio systems interact now with technology and the world, and she joins us to discuss this here. And I've seen her a little bit hiding out in the back, so could you pass her the mic and excuse us for the wrong data set that we linked with you?
I happily take that position.
Talk to Gerhard, maybe he wants to switch.
So my position is assistant professor at University of Texas in Austin. And well, thank you for having me here. I think at the new university here, an outlier can find their place because subjects are no longer have boundaries. Everything is fluid. Perspectives are multifaceted. And the new university pioneers a harmonious bond with nature and across species and beyond human species. Nurturing curiosity, play, and lifelong experimentation to drive this sustainable and equitable futures for all.
Thank you, Chabao. And with this, to Barbara Lippe, our next fellow, whom I think hopefully we did correct. Barbara has a long history of actually, being in the metaverse before it was called the metaverse, or helping create it, and especially the avatars, the visualizations, the ideas that we have about it. She then became an actor, an actress herself, and now she's again working in the virtual reality, in making it accessible, in sharing it. Barbara, please.
Thank you so much. So I think the University of the Future is the University of the Heart. We need to educate the hearts first to put this power of technology into someone's hands. And I think the purpose of it is to save our planet. And the methods are our imagination, fantasy, creativity, play, fun, and a holistic mindset. It has to be open, and it has to start already in kindergarten, because the teachers are everywhere. It's not us fellows and the professors. The teachers are they're our little babies that join us. They show us what we really need to do in this University of the Future. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Barbara. So we've heard 2 new chapters. Luisa, any share back? Did I? No? Who has the mic?
Oh. Yeah, I really love that we actually had 2 mothers here with their children. I really think that for the University of the Future, the idea that to dedicate yourself to academia, you need to focus on that you need to separate your personal from your professional life, that it's not, if you want to talk about communities, I think families need to be a part of the conversation as well. So I was really happy to see that, and I really resonate with the idea of starting from the heart. I have a speech coming about that. But yeah, that was a really interesting point from this chapter.
Thank you. Martin, anything you would like to share?
Well, since I'm the oldest here on the bench, I may also share some conservative views that I've missed so far. So for this super university, I would also like to see no fear of competition, but wishing to excel. And on the other hand, I also have a very conservative view in the sense that I want a liberal university like it used to be in the 60s, where people could study what they wanted and they ended up with a doctorate in Austria at least, yeah. So I'm not very fond of schools in the sense of very strict curricula. But for that to become true, you need responsible students that are willing to use the time to shape their own life inside university. And I think these are aspects that I've missed and I would like to contribute.
Thank you. Chiara, you next, but not now. So those are the 4 chapters that will happen before Christmas. And after Christmas, we will focus on 2 other forces that we in the founding convent had a lot of fun with in the last few months: media and politics. So we made sure we had many fellows to work with us on this and to reshape maybe our understanding of it, the future understanding in a university, and also work closely with media and policymakers to make sure they understand that the university of the futures that they wanted is actually what they get. First of all, we have Umlilo. Umlilo is a freelance artist joining us from South Africa. She is very much into fashion performance and into social media and reaching out to local communities in the global south. Again, a plane. She will be here by... It's already arrived and it's arriving in Linz at 12. She's arriving in Linz at 12, so probably, so we'll see her in the afternoon. And with her in the media team is David McDonald. David is at the ABC, the Australian BBC, here very much engaged in the audio landscape, which is one of the reasons that we're very happy to have you here. The change in media, the questions that we have with AI, with facts versus fakes in media is not only always visual, but very much audio as well. David, please.
Here we go. Yeah, also thanks to everyone for having me here. I'm super excited. The University of the Future should be unapologetically experimental, intellectually dangerous, and fundamentally exciting. It will cross-pollinate between fields and disciplines and grow strange and exciting hybrids that will bloom into research and real things that no one has dared to imagine before.
Thank you, David. And while I see a camera, I do not see Siv. Siv Epstein joins us from Stanford, and I can go over here and see. Hello, Siv, good to have you here. Siv has worked on how to figure out how we can combat fakes in media by actually working collaboratively together. And he's also been very much engaged in AI research and has published from Nature to Science to PNS like this. Given his age index, I think he started when he was 6. Siv.
Thank you. So I think that the University of Future needs to foster the playful creativity that enables both innovation and transformation. And I think there's 3 ingredients for that at least, maybe more. Being place-based, human-centered, and practice-oriented, like really kind of taking those seriously. And I think one kind of way to do that is this idea of generative criticality, where we make and we build and we kind of envision the future, but at the same time we're very aware of the critique, the ethics, the arts and humanity, and kind of build bridges between those. Thank you.
Thank you, Sivi. And to complete the media team, we have our very own Sarah Kliesche. She's working with Ö1 Radio, especially in the background of science and technology and figuring out for the general public what that means. Sarah.
Hi, Mike. Also radio, by the way, so we're a good radio team here. We have the most beautiful pictures. So to make it short, I wanted really to say what Dietmar said. That would sum it up for me so much as well. But when I thought about universities, there was a huge approach on technology, like from IRC to Slack or whatever. And then there was on economy. How do we make money with all the things that are going online? And I think the University of the Future, to sum it up, and since I'm here at Ars, everyone will know the term, digital humanism. So after focusing very much on technology and then focusing on, of course, economy, with the good, the bad, and the ugly, I think it's now to focus on what do we need? Do we need that? And how can we use technology to make the desired future a good place?
Thank you, Sarah. And just behind you, and for more than 20 years, I would also sum it up. Just what Dietmar said is figures most of it out pretty well. Thank you. Julia joins us for the final chapter together with 5 fellows. This is then on policy making, digital society, and how to negotiate with nature, tech, and people. Julia is the co-founder and managing director of SuperLab, focusing on feminism, but she also co-founded Code for Germany. She's advising the German government on digital strategy and probably has fought some policy battles in her life. Julia.
For the introduction. So much resonates with me what has been said, the University of the Hearts, leaving the buzzwords, the AI buzzwords aside. I hope that the University of the Futures will be a university that is built on feminist values, such as care, such as empathy, collaboration, sustainability. I hope that it will be a free, transnational institution that endorses pluralistic thinking. I think the S in the futures, to use the plural, is very important because we're not hurtling towards this one future, but towards a whole array of diverse, of different futures. And while listening to all of you, I had to think of this poem that the digital minister of Taiwan, Audrey Tang, wrote when she started her job. And I figured I'll quote it because it fits really well to what this new university should or could entail. So she wrote, "When we see Internet of Things, let's make it an Internet of Beings. When we see virtual reality, let's make it shared reality. When we see machine learning, let's make it collaborative learning. When we see user experience, let's make it about human experience. And when we hear the singularity is near, let's remember plurality is here."
Thank you. Julia is joined by Alex Putzer. Alex Putzer is a UN expert in harmony with nature. And just a few years ago, I met him as a student at another summer school, and he's working very much in the rights of nature and urban nature, and I'm excited to hear from you, Alex.
Thank you very much for being here. I would say that the University of the Futures doesn't just happen. Like, we have to be aware of the decisions of a privileged position, and at the same time, futures are gonna happen anyways. So we gotta focus on the details, listen to voices. It's gotta be human-centered, but rights of nature also non-human-centered, and go beyond disciplines and species boundaries, as was said before.
Thanks, Alex. Julia and Alex are joined by Kamya Ramachandran. She's the founding director of Be Fantastic, which is the perfect name for, I think, our university, if I had a choice. And Fantastic Futures, she has for a long time curated Bangalore's leading art and technology festival, and is very much interested in teaching, learning, and the interdisciplinarity between it. Kamya, please.
Thank you. I think the University of the Future really needs to present the potential of experiential learning. Not so much books and academia, but really throwing yourself in situations for a long time and learning from just absorbing, the body just absorbing around us. And that really to me is interconnected, holistic learning. And therefore creating a space for other ways of knowing with diverse communities that contribute their knowledge to co-creating our global futures together. So really working with communities and people and listening to voices, a lot of threads being tied with a lot of what people are saying, but yeah, I'd say that again.
Thank you, Kamya. There is many things that we should discuss with policy, but one really important question is, what is the responsibility of a technical university within the wider society and innovation system? And guess what? There is someone working on an EU Horizon program on exactly this question. So we are really elated to have you here, Lucas. Lucas has a background in philosophy from Cambridge and then studied with Mariana Mazzucato at UCL. And now you will share with us probably your ideas for responsibility or some fun.
Thank you very much.
I think the integration of the new university in society is a very important issue to address. This is not going to be a university with researchers in a back room writing papers that nobody reads, as Stefanie, our founding president, said. So we need to think about how do we collaborate, with what attitudes should the university approach this. And I propose that we look back to the work of Wilhelm von Humboldt, who thought about this topic 200 years ago when the University of Berlin was founded. Humboldt thought that the university should be a partly protected space in society, which is all about Wissenschaft, the creation of new knowledge, diving deeper into what we can understand. And I think when we collaborate with policymakers, with industry, with arts, with civil society, we should do that. We should interact and be there. But the primary goal, the primary logic with which we do that should be science, should be understanding. And Humboldt promises that if we stay true to that vision, we will be able to make use of very different levers and and help society in very different ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucas. And finally, we will have someone joining the group working with policymakers who's deep in the trenches of policy making based on science. Elisabeth Windisch, she joins us from OECD, and she heads their data research team there. Unfortunately, she can't be here today because she is policy making, negotiating with ministers, I think on drones, but I'm not absolutely sure at the moment. We are very much looking forward to have Elisabeth join the team. And with much further ado, I give to Chiara for the last words reflecting on the fellows before, your students get on stage. So,
thank you. I don't have anything to add to any of this, but we do have an opening and we do have a possibility right now that probably comes once in a lifetime, and now we just have to do it. So that's why we're here. Thank you.